here today to address this serious issue. Surely, as adults, we can prioritize America's children ahead of partisan politics. I urge Congress to prioritize the passage of the Take It Down Edit Bill. This legislation is essential for addressing the growing concerns related to online safety, protecting individual rights, and promoting a healthier digital environment. By advocating this bill, Congress can take an important step towards ensuring accountability and fostering responsibly online behavior. The Take It Down Edit Bill represents a powerful step toward justice, healing, and unity. Thank you.
And thank you very much. I want to thank the First Lady for being here, and your presence and your leadership on this issue is incredibly important, and I'm confident it's going to play a critical role in accelerating the passage of this bill and getting it passed into law so that we can protect all our kids and young women and young men across the country. I now want to turn to the leader in the House, Representative Salazar, for her remarks.
There. Thank you to all of you, and thank you to the First Lady of the United States, Senator Cruz, for having taken up this cause. The force, as Senator said, the force of your presence, Madam, is not only going to save children's lives, but will also make this legislation the law of the land. I have no doubt that the House of Representatives will make this law a priority, as I've spoken to the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. So thank you for making our jobs as legislators a lot more effective. As the Senator said, the name of the legislation that we're presenting is called the Take It Down Act. Its mission is very simple. It's profound and long-lasting. It stops cyber abuse. It prevents bullying one child against another. Even more important, it's going to prevent suicide out of shame. It is outrageously sick to use the images, the face, the voice, the likeness of a young, vulnerable female, to manipulate them, to extort them, to humiliate them publicly just for revenge or just for fun. That is why we created this bill, and it's going to stop the abuse throughout social media. It is widely known that 99% of the time, the victim, most of them girls, don't even know that their faces, their bodies, their intimate parts are being circulated around the internet in fake, compromising pornographic images. But perception is reality, unfortunately, and even though these images do not belong to them, they are paying the price dearly. So they see it, they live it, they have to suffer it, and they don't have any recourse, as the Senator said, up until today, up until now. Our bill, the Take It Down Act, finally is sending a very big message to big tech that they have to bring down these images, fake images, within 48 hours. No more time than that, no more excuses. If not, big tech then will be just as guilty as the aggressors. Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok will have to comply within 48 hours when the victim demands that they take down those pornographic images. Now our messages to the bullies, to the perverts, to the predators. If you dare to do this to another innocent child, you are going to go to prison. You will serve jail time. That will be a great place where you can sit and ponder what you did and be consumed by your conscience. Up until now, the parents of victims found that the schools, they couldn't do anything. The police couldn't do anything. Nothing. Big tech couldn't do anything, according to them. No more. This legislation has taken the power away from the aggressors and the accomplices and have given it back to the victims and their parents. What a great honor for me to be part of this initiative. Thank you very much, and thank you, Madam, for making this a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Salazar, for your friendship, for your leadership on this important issue. I now want to introduce our victim advocates who will share their stories and explain why it is important that we urgently pass the Take It Down Act.
That's right.
Here with us first are two teenage victims of AI-generated sexually exploitative images. Miss Elliston Berry of Aledo, Texas, and Miss Francesca Mani of Westfield, New Jersey. Both of these young ladies were victims of virtually the identical crime within weeks of each other. Elliston was just 14 years old when a male classmate of hers took an innocent photo off her Instagram page and used an app to create an explicit image, a deep fake AI, that in turn was sent to her classmates at school. Elliston helped inspire the Take It Down Act. She's a Texan, and she and her mother contacted my office and relayed what happened, and we were horrified, and she was the initial inspiration for writing this bill. And Melania, I'll tell you an amazing aspect. When I was sitting down with Elliston and her mother, Anna, who's here as well, I asked in my office, I said, what's happened to the images?
They're still out there.
And they looked at me with enormous frustration, and they said, they're still up.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 9 months. Elliston's mom said she had called Snapchat, she'd emailed them, she tried repeatedly, take this garbage down of my daughter. And she'd gotten no response at all, no movement. I turned to my staff in my office that afternoon and I said, I want you to get the CEO of Snapchat on the phone today. I want those pictures down today. Within 2 hours, they pulled them down.
Come on.
Now, it should not take a sitting senator or a sitting member of Congress picking up the phone to get a picture down or a video down. It should be the right of every American. Every teenage girl victimized should have the right to get this garbage taken down, and this bill will give them that right as a matter of federal law. And with that, Elliston, if you would share with the First Lady and share with everyone here just what happened to you just tell your story.
Thank you, Senator Ted Cruz. I was just 14 years old when a classmate created AI nudes of me from an innocent social media picture. I was 14 years old when I was violated all over social media, and I was just 14 years old when my innocence was stripped away. October 2nd, 2023, I woke up to messages from a friend notifying me that these photos of me were circulating social media. Pictures from a past Instagram photo with a nude body and my face attached, made from AI. Fear, shock, and disgust were just some of the many emotions I felt. I felt responsible and began to blame myself and was ashamed to tell my parents despite doing nothing wrong. As I attended school, I was scared of the reactions of someone could recreate these photos, and I lived in fear that they would resurface and that they would get brought up as I attended school. The school was little to no help and said that it was out of their control. I not only blamed the classmate Big Tech. The boy used a Google app called DNGG that existed to remove articles of clothing from a photo available for all ages for free. While that app is no longer available, thousands of other apps similar are available. Additionally, social media needs to be required to take action. It wasn't until Ted Cruz's office heard my story and reached out to Snapchat personally, and then my photos were removed. We need to hold Big Tech accountable to take action. I came here today to not only promote this bill, but to fight for the freedom of so many survivors. Millions of people, male, female, teenage, children, kids, all are affected by the rise of this image-based sexual abuse.
All right, you were listening in there to the First Lady, Melania Trump, alongside lawmakers and victims urging for legislation to protect American children from AI-generated deepfakes and revenge pornography, and her first major policy initiative since the start of her husband's second term. All right, we are going to step away for our last 2-minute break of the hour. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Live Now from Fox.
Claim your trip at visitmaine.com.
Ready to earn your college degree, but not sure where to start? WGU offers more than 40 real-world ready bachelor's degree programs in IT, healthcare, business, and education. They're designed with industry experts, so you're prepared to make a difference and advance your career. And you'll have a dedicated WGU program mentor with you every step of the way, from enrollment to graduation. Now's the time to earn your degree. Learn more at wgu.edu.
Going from survival mode my whole life to having enough money to
take my kids on vacation. I had no idea how to run a business. I didn't know what quotes were. I didn't know anything. And then I got Jobber because I was trying to find a way to schedule my 3 girls. And then slowly but surely, like, it taught me how to run my business. Jobber, like, I'll never leave. Y'all have given me everything I ever prayed for.
Start your free trial today at jobber.com.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
At Metro, get $25 in line for 4 lines, plus 4 free Samsung Galaxy A15 5G phones. No ID required, no activation fees. Get a new number or keep your own. 4 lines for $25 a line, plus 4 free phones. Getting our best deals is easy. Visit a store, go online, or call. Only at Metro.
Put your hands up. Going northbound. Hopefully this is a wake-up call. I mean, you get some serious jail time.
Okay, so.
Back. Thanks for staying here with us on Live Now from Fox. I'm Brianna Isbell. A live look right there. Back. Thanks for staying here with us on Live Now from Fox. I'm Brianna Isbell. A live look right there in New York City, as Election Day is still 8 months away. But after Andrew Cuomo announced his bid for New York City mayor over the weekend, his opponents are rallying with a sense of urgency. Fox 5 New York has the latest on the state of the race.
Safe from him, but I can't campaign from this place.
Mayor Eric Adams making a small jab at former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who jumped into the race for mayor over the weekend. Adams brushed off concerns that he is trailing behind Cuomo in the polls, saying his record during his first term speaks for itself, adding that no matter the outcome, he is still the 110th mayor.
That's been the greatest thrill of my life to get here. And that was the meat and potato. Term 2 is the gravy.
Adams said each candidate deserves to be scrutinized, so he asked for his response to 2 of the biggest controversies that rocked Cuomo's final years in office, forcing him to resign as governor.
Do you believe the Attorney General's report that substantiated 11 women's claims that they were sexually harassing Cuomo?
He said they were not true. He has to answer that on the campaign trail. I believe the women made the allegations. Respect what they stated. I believe what they said based on the investigation, and he has to answer that on the trail.
Do you believe that undercounting the number of COVID-related nursing home deaths disqualifies Cuomo from running for mayor?
Should that be an automatic disqualification? No, I think it needs to be answered on the trail, exactly what happened. And I think some of those family members are going to be looking forward to that.
Some of Cuomo's other campaign opponents were harsher. City Comptroller Brad Lander says that Cuomo needs to return the millions of taxpayer dollars he has spent on lawsuits since leaving office.
$28 million of New York's taxpayer money is 4,500 after-school slots for our kids.
Cuomo's team does refute that full amount, saying part of that money was spent defending the state's COVID policies against the Trump administration. Mayoral candidate and state senator Zellner Myrie focusing more on looking ahead.
New Yorkers care about 2 things. They want a city that they can afford to stay in, and they want a city that is safe.
All right, a great report there from our partners over at Fox 5 New York. Discussing the latest of the state of the race, we are going to continue on this topic and listen to a press conference from earlier today where current Mayor Adams brings us the latest.
It's important to tell the real story, and also to be very clear. It's a privilege to be in this great country. If you come here to violate our crimes and abuse of people after you serve your time, you should not be in this country. And I've been very clear on that. I was clear on that prior to this presidential election, and I've been clear on that my entire life. Public safety is at the top of my agenda. And so when people try to say, oh, you're shifting, you changes, this is the same Eric that I've been for over 40 years, protecting people and fighting for those who want to abuse them. It doesn't matter to me if you're documented or not.
Can you talk about Cuomo's record?
We're gonna do that on the trail.
Hey, how are you?
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah. I was hoping you could address. You said earlier that you can't campaign from this place, and you'll deal with this on the campaign trail. You said that again, Liz. Where is the campaign trail for you? You haven't gone to any debates. Haven't gone to any debates, as other reporters said. Who's your campaign manager? Who's your campaign spokesperson?
Yeah, a couple of things. One, where I am now in 2025 was not where I was in 2021. I was not known. I had to spend a whole ton of information on infrastructure. I had to have a heavy staffing. There are very few people in the city who don't know Eric Adams. And if you do an analysis of the money I had to spend, the bulk of it was name recognition, getting my name out. I don't think that's the problem right now. And so this is right now, I like to say, this is the season. Those of you who are sports fans, this is the season. The playoffs are different. Petitions are on the street. We are now getting ready to go into the playoffs. And you're going to see a whole lot of people drop off in the Final Four. That's just the way it is. There's a lot of strategies that are going to be put in place, and we are going to move towards our strategy. And let the best person become the mayor for the city.
I have a follow-up. We reported last week that a senior OMB official left his job after refusing to get involved with the city's lawsuit against Trump and his administration over that $80 million funds. Is there anything you want to say to the thousands of city employees who may be fearful of speaking out against Trump in this moment? Can you reassure them that their jobs are safe if they do so?
Yeah, and I want to give some accuracy to that because that is not what happened. The individual wanted to go back to his previous assignment. While he was in OMB, he was asked to sign the affidavit because he was in charge of the area that the lawsuit was based on. Jack Jihad signed the affidavit. That person went back to the previous assignment that he wanted to go back to. He didn't lose his job because he didn't want to sign it. He wanted to go back to his previous assignment. He was allowed to do that. But any employee is required to do their job. And if there was a reason he was not going to do his job, then that's insubordination. But that was not the case here. He went back to his previous assignment. He's still a New York City employee.
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
What's happening? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? Have you locked down the 3 individuals who you are going to appoint as your next deputy mayors? Can you share a timeline on the process and when you're hoping to announce?
I said it over and over again. Our bench is deep, not only in the city, our bench is deep in the city. We had a number of people, as soon as the news came out, they said, listen, we want to come on board. We have each one of the positions identified, and we're going to be making an announcement in the next few days.
Thanks. Turning again to your upcoming testimony on Wednesday, how do you plan to get across to the members of Congress your message, especially given the nature of this hearing, the political environment around the term sanctuary city? How do you plan to explain what you want to do and what you have to do under the law?
I'm going to do what I've always done. Just be candid and honest. I have sat on the other side of people giving testimonies, and I have sat giving testimonies. And so I know that interaction very well, and the goal is just to be very honest and candid. Now, there are those who are going to have their own views on both sides of the issue. That's not my job. My job is to be honest, forthright, and truthful, and give my personal observation on what we're doing here and why we do what we do. If you don't manage 232,000 people that come to our city, if you didn't have a real system in place to do so. And so I don't have any false sense of belief that there's something I would say or do that everyone is going to agree with or disagree with it. I just hope that we could have a very civil conversation around a very complex topic that many cities have inherited. And I just think it's unfair for cities to inherit national problems. And when you do that, you have to step up. And I think that's what we did in the city. And I'm going to share that. I'm going to share my observation. Now, hopefully, we could walk away with some of the good things that we have done and some of the successes that we have done.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Excuse me. I wanted to ask about ICE enforcement down the road.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, the acting deputy director, I forget which one, of ICE was reassigned because they weren't getting enough numbers. Now, from everything I understood, and I don't know if this is still the case, but if enforcement numbers in New York City are not to the levels that the White House or that the borders wants them to be, if they wanted you to go a little bit further than the law is allowed, perhaps put in another executive order to go even further, what would you do?
That's a hypothetical I can't, even dig into. I want to be very clear. The federal government is responsible for immigration enforcement, and they have to do it within the Constitution and within the laws. And when you come down to places like areas that they can go into or can't go into, the law is very clear. And so if there's a specific action they want to do and it falls within the Constitution and the law, they have the authority to carry out immigration enforcement. And that's just the way it is.
Would they be reaching out to you to try and sort of see where you could bend the rules at all?
Katie, go ahead.
Oh, hey, Mayor Adams.
Katie.
How are you doing?
Good.
I was curious. I know you're talking about all these people in the shadows running. One name that's been floated is your police commissioner, Jessie Tisch. I don't know if that's something you've discussed, and I don't know if you'd support her if you found that she's someone who could defeat Andrew Cuomo, and you might say that you will defeat Andrew Cuomo. And my second question is a catch-up on something you said last week. You made I don't know if it was a joke about people quitting news organizations because they weren't, quote, stealing U.S. aid money. That's not true at all. It's something that's been debunked. You've called reporters, including myself, liars. Why would you share a lie like that in a forum like this without any chance to follow up?
First of all, just as you rib me, I rib you. You take it too seriously, then you can't take it. It was a partial joke.
Is that false? So what's the partiality?
We'll find out when they finish on their thoroughly review where all that U.S. aid money actually went. I was surprised at some of the places that it went to.
You're surprised at the
What was your second question?
Jessie Tisch, your police commissioner, potentially running for mayor. Do you think would you support her if she could potentially defeat Trump? Sorry.
Listen, when people announce they're running, that's when you know who you're running. One of the worst things that I learned in competition, that don't prepare yourself for opponents that are not your opponents. Know who your opponents are. I think Jessica is doing the job that she wanted to do. I heard her say it was a dream job in the police department. If she decides to do something else in her career, that is up to her. I don't make that determination on what she wants to do in her career. She's doing a great job there. I think that mayor and police commissioner is probably the top two jobs in the city, if not the country. They both dream jobs.
Morgan? Hi, Mr. Mayor.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
So I was just hoping to ask you two questions because you said that you wanted Cuomo to be scrutinized. So I was hoping to ask you to be scrutinized. But I was hoping to ask you two questions about some of these controversies. I believe you've answered maybe one in the past, but hoping to get an updated response from you. One, I was wondering, do you believe the Attorney General's report that substantiated 11 women's claims that they were sexually harassed by Cuomo? And two, do you believe that undercounting the number of COVID-related nursing home deaths disqualifies Cuomo from running for mayor?
I don't believe in this thing called disqualify a person unless I can weigh my opinion in if somebody does something that's really despicable. I met with with some of the nursing home family members and advocates. There's some things that we want to do with them, but he has to answer that question on the trail. Should that be an automatic disqualification? No, I think it needs to be answered on the trail, exactly what happened. And I think some of those family members are going to be looking forward to that. And when it comes down to the AG's report, the AG did a report. I read over that parts of that report. And if those allegations are true, he said they were not true. He has to answer that on the campaign trail. I believe the women made the allegations. Respect what they stated. I believe what they said based on the investigation, and he has to answer that on the trail.
In July of 2024, we had it out at Police Plaza about the crime stats. You said they were down. I said they were up in 49th. And then you congratulated me for being on the precinct count.
Yes.
All right. I want to tell you that the crime stats are down, way down. The new commanding officer has done a terrific job. However, I've been removed from the precinct count without due cause, as you said, for questioning where the money was spent. It was being sent downtown, $25,000 for the Councilmanic grant, and we had no accountability of the money. So when the new councilwoman became the Councilwoman Marorado,
yes,
I was part of it that got her to put the grant up into the precinct in a local conduit. Now, how can I get my position back on there? I was given a letter from one of the officers on community affairs that I had done nothing wrong. I would have a meeting downtown, which never happened. I received the call on a Saturday evening that I was off the board 2 days before our meetings, or 3 days before our meeting. How can I get my position back? I've done nothing wrong.
How did they? Why did they remove you?
I don't know.
Okay, so let me.
Money went downtown. I have information here. I'd like to.
When we leave here, let's pop in the office. Let me just learn more about it, and you should not be removed for asking questions.
Oh.
All right, you were just listening in there to New York City Mayor Adams' first appearance since Cuomo has entered the mayoral race in New York City. All right, we are going to step away for our first 2-minute break of the hour. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Live Now from Fox.
Okay, so
Today feels like go, go, go. And the all-electric Ford Mustang Mach-E SUV helps keep us on track with space in the back and the front, or with the convenience of available hands-free highway driving. This is the kind of EV we need.
When my doctor gave me Breztri for my COPD, I noticed things changed. Breztri gave me better breathing starting within 5 minutes. It also reduced flare-ups.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Ask your doctor about Breztri.
Going from survival mode my whole life to having enough money to take my kids on vacation. I had no idea how to run a business. I didn't know what quotes were. I didn't know anything. And then I got Jobber because I was trying to find a way to schedule my 3 girls. And then slowly but surely, it taught me how to run my business. Jobber, I'll never leave. Y'all have given me everything I ever prayed for.
Start your free trial today at jobber.com.
All right, babe, it's decision time. Will you be coupling up with the OG, the fan favorite, the box combo, or are you ready to turn heads for a Caniac combo?
Look, loyalty is key. The box combo has been there for you since day one. Don't fumble it.
I'm staying loyal to the box combo. Love that.
Good choice.
Take that.
Good
Got you,
choice.
girl.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
And to drink?
Sweet tea, please. Got you, babe. No problem.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying here with us on Live Now from Fox. I'm Brianna Isbell. The time is just about 11:15 over on the East Coast, 8:15 over on the West Coast. A live look right there In New York City, as Governor Kathy Hochul continues to fight President Donald Trump's demand to scrap a hard-fought congestion pricing program, which began in New York City in January. The program's goal is to reduce traffic in the most populous city in the country and raise money to upgrade its transit infrastructure by charging a $9 toll for most vehicles entering central Manhattan during rush hour. President Trump's administration says it must end by March 21st. Let's head over and listen to a press conference from earlier today where Governor Kathy Hochul talks more on this ongoing fight.
Also joined by Luke Graziani, who's going to talk about his experience a little bit later about what happened to him at the being removed from his position as Department of Veterans Affairs. We had to keep this meeting closed press to protect the identity of these individuals, because these are fellow citizens who are afraid of retribution from a sitting United States president and his cronies in Washington. Let that sink in. People who are fearful of retribution from the leader of our nation. Now, I will just give you some of the reflections we just wrapped up, but the emotions are raw. This was so wildly unexpected. Some received notification on Valentine's Day. They love their jobs. Some of them were on probation, some literally days away from having permanent status. They found the whole experience degrading, dehumanizing. There's anger, but immediately their thoughts turn to the impact on their families. Children who need their parents to bring home a paycheck. Losing health insurance. Some individuals spoke about their own physical needs. One individual had a compromised immune system, needs expensive treatment every month. His wife also needs to go through therapy for a recent surgery. And how are they going to pay those bills without health insurance? Talk about the bills piling up on the table already. Is a time of high anxiety for these individuals, these public servants who did nothing other than to say, and many of them left the private sector because they feel so strongly about serving others. That's what public service is all about. It also has an impact on the public. These are individuals, whether it was people at the IRS who were investigating corporate tax scams that were defrauding money from taxpayers overall. These are people at the Consumer Protection Bureau, CFPB. What were they doing? They're protecting consumers from scams and companies that were trying to harm individuals' credit scores. The list goes on. The reality is, this has caused undue harm, not just to these individuals and their families and the shock of what they're going through. And this is just a snapshot, this handful of individuals. And it's going on all over New York. It's going on all over America, and particularly hard-hit Washington. I want them to know that we'll work with them. They are New Yorkers. They're part of our families. And we've offered some suggestions of what we can do. Again, back to Luke. Luke lives in Queens. He served our country for 20 years, including 4 tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. Willing to put his life on the line for all of us. He's working at the Bronx VA's office before he was deemed government waste in this reckless, ongoing employee purge. To us, he's an American hero. He fought for this country and now is working in an agency that serves sick and needy and injured veterans, and terminated by Elon Musk and his clueless cadre of career killers. These are patriots, they call themselves, putting America first. Give me a break. They know nothing about the functions of government. They don't know who it serves, and they don't care about the tireless public servants who keep it all running. They protect our skies, keep planes from coming down. They maintain our national parks, our military facilities. They ensure our food and medications are safe. And they predict the path of deadly storms, something we know a great deal about here in the state of New York, having come through 2 hurricanes, unprecedented tornadoes, 2,000-year flooding events, horrific blizzards, and many other challenges that we have now. We need to know with certainty and predictability what's happening. And also, these people are the ones searching for medical cures that could save your family member's life. None of this seems to matter to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Not at all. For them, it's just fodder for this cheap second-rate reality show. You're fired. It's fun for them to say that. They fail to recognize that they're affecting people's real lives and their livelihoods. These are essential jobs requiring many years of specialized experience done by real people, as I said, with bills to pay and families to support. They should be commended for their service, not mocked by the president and handed a pink slip. Now, here's the deal. The current regime in Washington may not recognize your talents, but I can assure you, New York State does. We don't vilify public servants. We value you. We cherish your contributions, and we do want to welcome you to the New York family. So we just launched a campaign to recruit federal workers ousted by the Trump-Musk administration. Got what I think is a rather clever design. Really detailed information on how to get out of the situation they're in, talking about specific programs, our Veterans Temporary Hiring Program, how we have a program that'll temporarily remove the civil service exam so we can get people in sooner, the Empire Fellows Program. Here's real information on how to get yourself a job here in the state of New York. It's important. So our message is simple. While Doge says you're fired, we say you're hired. And today we're expanding that campaign, beginning this morning. Anyone traveling through Union Station in our nation's capital or Moynihan Station right here in New York, you'll see giant digital billboards that reads, New York wants you for a career in public service. And this Thursday, the Department of Labor is going to host a series in free virtual webinars for displaced federal workers and those who expect to be let go in the future. This is just the first wave. I hope you realize that. This was just the first. It's going to continue. And I want everyone to have this brochure and understand how to apply and let you know this good news. In the state of New York, we have 7,000 public sector job openings. We're looking for qualified, experienced candidates across a wide variety of fields. I need technologists, I need engineers, I need attorneys, healthcare workers, educators, public policy experts, and so many more. This recruitment effort is part of our ongoing effort to rebuilding the public workforce after it's been decimated, particularly during COVID. We've had to hire thousands more and lifting barriers to entry to government work because this work is essential to everyday New Yorkers who may not realize, but there are people out there working for you every single day with heart and passion.
Okay.
Like I said, we've waived certain test requirements, launched 10 new job centers, and expanded opportunities for veterans and people with disabilities. We've also expanded paid parental leave to 12 weeks for the entire state workforce. We reformed Tier 6, ensuring state workers get retirement benefits they deserve.
Good.
That's how you take care of and value your public sector workforce. Because taking care of them means they're taking care of us. So here's my message to any public sector worker who suddenly finds himself out of a job. New York does want you. New York needs you. Come work in the greatest state in the nation. We won't denigrate you. We'll treat you with dignity.